citizens of the Reject Nation, we're here for the Mandalorian season thrust today. I am more than enthusiastic about it. I've said this several times. Mandalorian is my favorite thing Star Wars has ever done. Come at me in the comments, people. Of course, joined by John. John, how are you, John?
I'm excited to be here, sir.
And Michael, my Bad Batch friend. How are you?
This is the moment. I'm so excited.
This is what we built towards right here. And if you don't know, Michael is easily the most knowledgeable person I know when it comes to Star Wars. So excited to have you here. Follow him at multihouse.io. People, use the Force to leave a like. You know how we do. Also, subscribe. Click the notification bell to get notified when our reaction for the next episode of The Mandalorian is up here on this channel. As always, full-length reaction watch-alongs where you sync it with your own copy of Mandalorian available for our super sexy rejects at our Patreon page. We cover several things exclusively over there with reaction highlights and watch-alongs included. And if you haven't done a watch-along with us before at our Patreon, well, the first episode of any new season is public for everyone. So there's a link in the pinned comment if you do want to do a sync up with us. But the rest will be Patreon exclusive. Let's just watch this. Come on. What are we waiting for? I love how they're not doing music for this.
Oh boy.
It's that Lucas sound library, boy.
Look at that.
The
They got a bunch
armor
of
in
Mando
there?
characters in there.
Yeah.
Love it.
Man.
Mythos. The armor find a new place to make shit.
Yeah, what a nice forge.
Love the Mythosaur just right there.
Yeah, right? Clash of Beskar.
Oh, forging of a new helmet.
I wonder if this is a flashback.
I wonder what they make their paint out of.
Oh, interesting.
Oh,
Is she making them for... Oh, okay.
some new recruits.
Cool.
You might be right about the flashback.
Yeah, little baby Din.
Baby's first helmet.
He was there the whole time.
Yeah, Mr. Vizsla's always
Mr.
been very
Vizsla's
tall.
always around.
I swear on my name and the names of the ancestors.
that I shall walk the way of the Mandalore,
Damn right.
and the words of the creed shall be forever forged in my heart.
And the words of the creed shall be forever forged in my heart.
Vizsla was watching like, you better never take that damn helmet off. I'm going to hold it against you forever.
Ooh, I love the helmet depressurizing.
This is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way.
From this moment on, I shall never remove my helmet.
From this moment on, I shall never...
Whoa.
Oh my god!
Oh.
Oh my god!
Damn, that
Oh
is
wow!
terrifying.
Worst baptism ever.
No, it's a test. It's a coming of age test.
Little baby Mandos.
Dude, great
Jeez.
stunts.
Oh my god!
Jeez.
To the sky! Huzzah!
Always reclaiming the jetpack.
I thought they were going to punch it. Okay.
Take that.
Damn, they Starship Troopers. Look at that shot.
Wow, beautiful.
That guy's got a channel. He just uploads his GoPro footage.
You think this is cool? You should see a Mandalorian quinceanera. Oh my god!
Looks phenomenal.
Oh man!
Come on, Din, prove yourself.
Take it down single-handed.
Oh come on, armor!
Get him with the tongs.
That is so scary.
Oh sheesh!
Time to shine, bucko.
No way.
Ooh, damn.
Oh hell yeah!
It's a good fake out.
The music.
Whoa! That's an N1.
Wait a minute.
Now this is.
Are we sure we're in a
This is
flashback?
not a flashback.
This is not a flashback. Yeah.
Good fake out.
Oh!
Baby.
Holy crap.
Oh,
they
God.
did the boys on it.
The viscera.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
That's a good fake out, yeah. So I was like, that little boy does not look
He
Latino.
was a very pale Latino boy.
It's a white passing Latino. They're out there.
Aw.
He paid them all back
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Let me back in now. Jeez.
from the first season.
For helping them out, yeah.
Did you go to the mines yet? Huh?
I miss Grogu so much.
You have removed your helmet.
This again.
You are no longer Mandalorian.
The creed teaches us of redemption.
Yes.
All was destroyed in the Purge.
Is this inscription not Mandalorian?
Inscription, you say?
Kryptonite.
Where did you come upon this?
Jawas,
Of course.
traveler who claimed to have visited the surface of Mandalore.
And this relic only proves that Mandalore's entire surface has been crystallized by fusion rays.
But a traveler was able to retrieve this, so perhaps it is not poisoned. If I visit the planet and I can bring you proof that I have bathed in the living waters beneath the mines of Mandalore, the decree of exile will be lifted and I would be redeemed.
You could easily fake that, Din Djarin.
That is the way.
The way of After Effects.
This is the way.
I will accept your shower video. Oh, his little chainmail.
I will never get over this N1. And a little port for Grogu. It's literally us watching The Mandalorian.
The space whales?
Yeah, from Rebels.
Yeah. Is it exactly that?
That is exactly what it is.
Gonna see
the
Thrawn
Purrgil?
zipping by right
No,
there.
but actually, yeah.
Oh, they are, yeah.
The Purrgil, yeah.
Wow.
I wonder if only Grogu can see them.
This is really beautiful.
That's a really solid setup for Ahsoka.
That's what I want in this episode.
I want to focus on anything other than right now.
No.
Is this Navarro?
Welcome to Navarro.
This is Navarro, okay.
Please state the purpose of your visit.
Here to meet an old friend.
Mando!
Great.
Greetings. Welcome to the Fort of Navarro, gem of the Outer Rim.
Oh, it's all thriving.
I know, it just gets prettier every season.
That's a fresh coat of paint can't
Oh,
solve.
that's cobblestone?
Oh, look at the chef.
Chappie likes to cook.
Oh.
Okay.
Love me some Mon Calamari.
On Navarro?
I want one.
Or soak in the geothermal springs.
A lot has changed around here.
I know, it's like a time dilation happened.
It's just me in any RPG upgrading my village.
Looks like Gondor now.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Oh, they got an IG statue.
Oh, man.
Nice.
Oh, the
I was
hero.
wondering why he was in the recap.
Oh,
With
the
that
skulls
helmet.
of his helmets. Incredible.
He gave his life.
Do you remember your old friend?
He almost murdered you.
The best damn nanny this galaxy's ever seen.
Mando!
Woof. What a glow up.
Serious.
It's
It's the drip droid.
Magistrate Karga.
That's High Magistrate Karga to you.
Oh.
Get it right.
Let's catch up on old times.
But don't bring up Cara Dune.
Kara, who?
You and the little one, you can settle down, you can hang up your blaster, live off the fat of the land.
Nice.
Grogu.
Come again?
His name is Grogu.
if you say so. Come on.
Step into my office, boys.
Say, there's a beautiful parcel.
It's a statue of himself in the back.
I completed my quest. He returned to me. I removed my helmet, and now I'm an apostate.
Same.
All the more reason for you to stay here with us.
Magistrate.
High Magistrate.
Yes, High Magistrate. Apologies. It's pirates. Pirates in the courtyard.
Stand aside, droid. Don't you know who we are?
Come on, Vane. That'll be enough of that.
Vane?
Let's continue this conversation back at my office. This is a school.
Ugh.
Join me for a drink back at my office. We'll toast to your captain.
We drink here.
Man.
I should have named the school after him.
We drink at the school.
That is a school now.
I say it's still a bar.
Is there a problem here, Magistrate?
High
Magistrate.
Damn it.
You paid us for murder and mayhem inside these doors.
It's like a cross between Voldemort and Davy Jones.
Yep. That's a good call.
Sounds like you went soft.
You think so?
It's a grief tatership, my guy.
Do you have a grievance?
Would you like to settle? Oh!
Tell Captain Dorian Shard that Navarro is no longer friendly to pirates. Now get out of here.
Love that one blast and every town screaming.
It's a different place now.
He'll let it be known that Navarro is respectable now and not to be trifled with.
About respect.
It better not kill off Grief in this season.
I need a marshal.
What about Marshal Dune?
She was recruited by Special Forces.
And what came of Gideon?
What is that?
I can't serve as your marshal. I have something pressing to attend to.
I didn't know you were here on business. What can we provide?
Forever together.
I need him back.
What?
These are his parts, are they not?
I mean, what's left of him?
Oh.
I need a droid I can trust to help me explore Mandalore. And he's that droid.
That is cool.
Reboot his consciousness.
It's like that at the museum.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I'm so happy right now.
Finally, a place we can all agree upon, Taika.
Let's see if we can wake him up.
It's like a hot wire in a car.
Little baby Annie could do it.
Embarrassing.
Aww.
There you go.
Kill me.
Asset to be terminated.
Oh my god, it really is the Terminator now.
Oh, they must have puppeteered and sped it up or something.
Terminate asset.
Oh, jeez.
Terminate.
No! You're bust.
Now that's using your head.
Man's got jokes.
Fortunately, Navarro has attracted the best droid smiths of the Outer Rim.
Babu Frick.
Oh, good call.
Why don't you ask him for yourself?
Who?
The Anzellans.
What do you want?
Is it his
Einstein.
race or actually Babu Frick?
That's really hard to tell.
They're all Babu Frick. So prove
a hive mind.
Otherwise, yeah. They can fuse together like the stations in Bill and Ted.
Oh my god, I love these claymation looking. This is so silly.
No, the different arrays of like animation and puppeteering are great.
Oh, it's amazing.
Okay.
I think it is.
I don't understand. Do you speak Huttese?
Mando, he said he can't fix it.
This one is my friend.
They're not friends anymore. Don't make new ones. Very hard to find.
He said they don't make them anymore. They're very hard to find.
I got it.
This one would do.
He says you should get a new one.
Doesn't want a new one.
What? This droid?
What if I find you the part?
Okay, now then, no problem. We take.
Not a pet.
No, it's crazy.
And don't eat Babu Frick.
Wait, bad baby.
Bad baby.
That's the spinoff we need.
No, Grogu.
Bad Patch Baby.
Oh my god, that was so magical.
If the Anzellans can't find it, I don't know who can. Safe travels.
The Jawas can find it.
Oh boy. Oh, he's destroyed Wave 2. Oh man.
Being a Mandalorian's not just learning about how to fight. You also have to know how to navigate the galaxy. And this...
is trouble.
Hang on, kid. We got pirates.
Oh, good.
Oh, they're out for revenge.
We're Pirate King Gorian Shard's men. Now you'll answer to him.
Gorian Shard should stick to hijacking and ransoming.
Not picking fights you can't win.
Like how they waited till he was in like a meteor field to do this.
This is my favorite Star Fox level.
3 more.
Woo!
Oh man. The cinematography of this season's off to a phenomenal start. Jeez.
Yeah, you don't get too many like actual space battles in Mandalorian. It is fun.
It's just me on Star Tours and Disney World.
What are you doing here?
Has anyone got eyes on the Mandalorian?
I'm gonna show up behind your asses.
Do a barrel roll.
There it is.
Ooh. Oh, he's stalking you now.
Damn.
Going on Michael Myers on you. Mando Myers.
That's a shot I was
have
waiting
you
for.
now.
Nice.
Yeesh. Aw.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Bringing the Mandalorian to you, Captain.
Captain. Oh my god.
Yeah, buddy.
Bait.
That's a cool ship.
Dang Ferric. They have a target lock on us.
Clearly.
Stop where you are.
Wow.
I have no quarrel with you, Gorian Shard.
Ha! What a kind sentiment.
So was that about Davy Jones?
Surrender your ship and I'll spare your life.
Kid, never trust a pirate.
So long, Swamp Thing.
Problem averted.
Not the last we'll see of him.
This was like a Rick Famuyiwa episode.
Famuyiwa.
Yeah, whatever his name is.
It's another planet in the Mandalorian system, and that is a Mandalorian castle.
Ah, neat.
Cool, cool, cool.
I haven't seen one of these since Rebels.
Who's he visit? Is this Bo-Katan?
It's probably Clan Kreese's castle.
Yes, that makes sense.
Or the Night Owl's fortress.
It's the library from Blade Runner 2049.
Actually, looks like they're entering Halo.
Sci-fi salad.
Bo-Katan, it is Din Djarin.
All Mandalorians lounge the same.
When I returned without the Darksaber, my forces melted away,
Where is the stolen fleet?
making their way through the galaxy as mercenaries. You lead them. Wave that thing around, and they'll do whatever you say.
So you gave up your designs to retake Mandalore?
Your cult gave up on Mandalore long before the Purge.
They're all part of a cult.
A network of cults.
It's the religion.
The children of the Watch and all the factions that came before fractured and shattered our people.
We're in Death Watch. Come on.
I am going to Mandalore and be forgiven for my transgressions.
You are a fool. That planet has been ravaged, plundered, and poisoned.
You said that the curse was a lie. Make up your mind.
If you want to go to the mines, be my guest. They're beneath the Civic Center in the city of Sundari.
Civic Center?
And I will find out if the planet is really poisoned.
What if you die?
Then he'll have found out.
Goodbye, Din Djarin.
Katie Sackhoff's great.
Yeah, right?
Did she just sit there?
That's all she does.
All day. Just be chill.
It was! Oh, fuck, yeah!
Look at Mr. Cinema. What's up?
He had a very distinct style for in the episodes he did for one. There's tonally, and then when it was when he was fighting the bad guys at the end, that reminded me of the prison one with Bill Burr. I was like, this feels like we're Famu. John, you take it away first.
This was a blast. This was an absolute blast of a return. A really
Blast. Blasted.
This is good because your delivery there very much reminded me of William Shatner for some reason. Anyway, no, this is great.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Oh, good. Then my sci-fi tunes are right on par. I walked past him the other day, in fact. It was great. Anyway, this was a really great return to me. I really liked the way they crested from just this opening set piece, this, big sense of scale and adventure, a big monster battle, and then you get back into what the next, serial part of the story is. We're trying to find that redemption for Din Djarin in the waters beneath the mines of Mandalore. And yeah, I mean, they haven't reinvented the wheel in terms of how the show moves, but it just feels like putting on like an old sweater. It's like it's nice to be back in this place where you have just this interesting sort of episodic check back in with what's happening on Navarro and everything with Greef Karga, and then checking in with Bo-Katan really quick before we really launch into the adventure. But yeah, I felt like this was like a really fun and satisfying return that has, all those threads of where we'll go to come. But for right now, just, kind of a slam dunk of just jumping back in the pool, to mix all sorts of physical metaphors.
Mikhail?
I completely agree. And I personally feel like, in the first season, it was such a character focused piece where it was intimate, it was personal. And I feel like The Mandalorian is one of those very few shows that has earned the world feeling bigger, and I love returning to some of these locations, seeing the changes, and then just seeing these two characters slowly kind of start to find their place in a much bigger galaxy. I think from like big Star Wars nerd perspective, I could watch like Mandalorian rituals all day and be super happy. And even like the little details of like the Mandalorian starting to, understanding that the Jedi won't be training Grogu in the ways of the Force. Din Djarin understanding that, somebody has to still teach Grogu. And in this case, now it's going to be in the way of the Mandalorian. And I love that, we're going to start seeing that evolution. But great callbacks. I mean, this just felt so cinematic and so big. And I'm so excited for the rest of the season.
Big. Yeah, it's different than the other ones in a lot of ways because this felt the most lighthearted. And it's, I mean, there's certain elements that obviously like tie into the first episode of the whole series, with seeing some of the familiar Mandalorians, and then And then it's also interesting with how the season 2, their first episode ended with taking down a giant monster, and this starts off with taking down a giant monster. So it's like a kind of an inverse of it. So yeah, they have that, of course, Navarro, and it's always felt a little bit more desolate and a little bit more gritty. And this felt like the least gritty of them all. And that's not a bad thing. It actually felt like it's just another element of Star Wars. It's another layer of Star Wars. I am wondering, though, if that is very intentional.
Definitely.
Whereas Mandalorian often goes from, something that can be dark to ending hopeful. Like they already have season 4 written out. So the fact that it started off so hopeful, like this has such a like the other seasons have such an immediate rush and pace to it because it's a fugitive story. They're on the road. They're on the road. He's got I got to take this guy to with the Jedi is like at least with the second season I got to take this guy to Jedi, but people are still hunting him. The Empire's after him. So there's an intensity to it. Where here it's like I gotta take my time, but I do want to become a Mandalorian. like there's no real ticking time clock yet. But I feel like something is around the corner, and you could feel that there's something brewing. And if there's anything we know about Mandalorians, is that while they're teasing him possibly, leading the ways of the Mandalorian, like you lead the Mandalorians, I'm like, a lot of times Mandalorians end up in their own little civil wars all the time.
They love their civil wars.
Yeah.
That's a rich part of their history.
It sure is. To not commit violence is a sin in their creed and in their faith. But I completely agree. I feel like all of the challenges of previous seasons, even like this like random pirate it's amazing how just like in one episode we're going to show you that the stakes are clearly going to be much higher. And I think
they're not there yet.
No, they're not there yet.
And I think this is the kind of sorry to interject.
Please.
I know the trajectory of how these things go, because I will say there are parts of this that felt a little bit fast. There are parts of this that felt a little bit like, okay, we're going through this a little quick. Certain parts, not a lot, but certain parts. However, this is one of those things where you got to take the season as a whole.
Yeah.
Even if I had a qualm like that slightly with any part of season 2, when you watch it all at once, you're like, no, it's pretty near perfect season. And I imagine that whatever the whole package is, at least I'm hopeful for that. I don't know. Book of Boba Fett's the one thing that got me a little worried about.
Well, but even Book of Boba Fett still had a couple really important gems sprinkled in that I think helped really set this season up for success. But I feel like in Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, something I really admired about this episode was we're beginning to see the galaxy or parts of the galaxy heal from the repercussions of the Empire. And I feel like what's also interesting as they kind of go backwards and trying to fill in the blanks of how did Palpatine return? But really, I feel like we're seeing even the distrust on Navarro of the Republic and this idea of a fear of going back. And, I think the Mandalorians in the same way, having just rewatched Clone Wars and Rebels, whatever happens next is going to be really, really hard for them to come to a consensus on, and building that trust and that faith in following a singular leader, especially one who's an outsider. I'm really excited. But it seems to me our two rivals here are going to be Bo-Katan and the Armorer, with the Mandalorian being a bridge between these two. I think once the Mandalorian proves to them that Mandalore, which was, for the record, it was like uninhabitable prior. They just made it more like the capital was in a dome because everything else had been previously destroyed. So like,
it's what the Mandalore
it's what they do. Yeah, I just keep rebuilding over and over and over again. I mean, heck, Concord Dawn. I mean, the planet was literally just like ripped in half, and they still settled there. So get over yourselves, Mandalorians. Rebuild.
There's always a path to go down, but we'll see how this ultimately progresses.
Yeah. Who do you feel the big bad's going to be?
I think it's Bo-Katan. I think that's be a nice subversion. I mean, Bo-Katan has played antagonistic before, like in Clone Wars, before becoming someone who you make an ally with. I mean, but look at her. They kind of like total Daenerys vibes in this. This one, like, why is she putting her makeup on? For what? Why are you What are you getting ready for?
I
You're just
like
like
to
you're
think
expecting company.
Bo-Katan sings Reflection from Mulan by herself. When nobody's around.
No, like it read a little cheesy to me when
Yeah.
she's just kind of there sitting, and there was something about like, there's no one here. My logical brain started going off of there's no one here. What are you doing?
That could be a fake out of you think like, oh, this is sort of a really surprisingly mellow interaction to start things off, and she sort of doesn't seem she seems to have withdrawn in a moment of defense or something like that I feel like could easily flip back around to some kind of impassioned attempt to reclaim.
Well, her people abandoned her. They're
Did
now
they?
mercenaries
Because now you have me thinking that's a really interesting. Bo-Katan is, I mean,
Or she could be cunning.
She
Yeah,
could be,
plotting
which
something.
would be nice because Lord knows. I mean, she was the right hand of Death Watch, and then she was the right hand of the resistance movement against Maul, and then she was in charge of Mandalore, then lost Mandalore to the Saxon clan, and then lost all of Mandalore to the Empire. So like, maybe she's learned something, and maybe she's
Strategy.
playing. No, I mean,
Yeah.
it would be, and I think that would be a really nice evolution. Because I feel like right now she's just a little bit too angsty to be a good villain, or it's just like too much hate. The other thing that I don't understand is she could just be like, "Hey, Din, could we do a duel? And when you yield, I won't kill you," which historically is a totally fine way to pass off the Darksaber. Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, what's up with that?
Gotta get you on the phone.
Yeah, no, get me on the phone. I need to know.
I did notice with Katie Sackhoff, they toned down a lot of the contrast with her appearance. Like in the second season, it's very bright. Like her hair's a tad longer, sure, but even the red in her hair is not as bright. And her skin, I feel like they really brought the animated version of her to life in the second one. And here she looks very human.
Yeah.
And I appreciated that aesthetically, at least.
There's a lot of great aesthetics and great blends of like puppeteering that's been sped up, things that are like in that monster battle. There's clearly moments that are actual sort of parts of creatures, blends with CGI and stuff like that. And two, I think the last thing that came to my mind is you said that thing about the galaxy healing. And one thing I've really liked about the recent stuff, like, I mean, through Mandalorian, also through Andor, and now this, it's like I have gotten used to a version of this where like you check in on certain planets and there's always reliably kind of the same all the time. And here it's like the idea that they would change a little bit depending on when you check in. And now we're seeing, at least on Navarro, what is there to lose now that they've started to build back. I think that's also kind of a foundational element that is kind of an earmark of the best parts of more recent Star Wars.
No, I completely agree with that. And I feel like it's nice to see the sequel trilogy is beginning to make a little bit more sense. Like, how did the New Republic end up just falling apart in the first 15 minutes of that movie, of A Force Awakens? And it's really clear. There is a regardless of if it's a republic or an empire or whatever, there's just a distrust. And it really is, it's a nice reminder that these planets and these people are alive, and these are different societies that grow and change. I'm really eager to see what other old locations that we'll come back to. I mean, I can't help but imagine we're going to be on Tatooine at some point, and the repercussions of the Book of Boba Fett. How will that affect, Mos Eisley and, just Mos
Everyone's
Espa?
got a shiny Vespa now.
Everyone
Everyone
is
It's a mod.
has died
Everyone's
there.
a mod.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, well, yeah, I am curious to see like what the real pulse of this season's going to be, what the through line threat will ultimately be, because I like the journey. It feels very like a very nomad wanderer, like trying to reclaim this as part of this creed. But however, I did find myself like itching for some stakes in this episode. I would like that to be kind of established.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't really have that ending. Like if there's a criticism I do have, it doesn't have that ending note for me.
Yeah.
Like even the ending with Bo, I'm like, well, that's not too different than what we already left off with in season 2, And so what I'm waiting for is that, be like season 1 had for a first episode, like, what is this little Yoda creature? And then even we had the plot already set up for season 2, and then they show Boba Fett at the end of that one. So they had like some solid seeds.
I think
planted.
they did it, but in a very subtle way. I mean, last we saw the Armorer, there was only one other follower of the Creed, in the form of the member of Clan Vista.
But that's why I was saying about the Civil War.
Yeah,
occurring,
and I feel like there is clearly those numbers. There was a young person that for a while we thought was the palest.
They are rebuilding.
Baby Pedro.
Did they say what planet that was?
No, they didn't. No, they didn't. But that's a great question.
They do time spans, and they don't often tell you how much time has passed.
Yeah.
And that part of it can sometimes needs to be. I do think needs to be told, because obviously, like, I didn't know about Jon Favreau saying until like moments before filming this about how there was a time gap for 2 years, where to me it felt like a couple of weeks when I saw Book of Boba Fett when Grogu and Din Djarin reunite. And then obviously a lot of time has passed here because, Navarro's really... And, I do actually feel like the character of Cara Dune was missing for me in Navarro. I did feel her missing presence.
Yeah, but I think it's actually... I like... Obviously, they
as a
had
Jew,
the one...
is that good for you? Is that
as
good?
the one... And there we are. No, I feel like as the one throwaway line about, like, I got recruited by the New Republic and all that. And I do like that they can play on this notion that, like, oh, maybe having a New Republic Ranger representing law enforcement in a system that's trying to be independent wouldn't have worked in the first place. I think the other thing to mention here is that there is the theoretical... They still haven't officially canceled it. The Rangers of the New Republic.
Sure.
That I think implied that this was going to happen anyway. But obviously the situation is right. But
Bring her back, I say. It's been enough time.
Has it? I don't know. I have no stake in the game.
I don't know, man.
I don't know what the rules are
either. I'm like, if you did it, you did it.
I don't even remember what happened.
Honestly, I remember it being a big deal at the time.
She's friends with Ben Shapiro. It's about all I know now.
Oh, well, he's
Jewish.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. It's all right. We have
he needs to go bathe.
A quarter of Harrison Ford, so it all checks out.
Yeah, yeah. Because like when I was saying stakes, like the Pirates thing was a great sequence. I love that we got like an actual aerial battle because you don't really get that with Mandalorian. That's one of the things I actually appreciate about the show. But it's cool to see that they're really bringing that to life here.
2 out of 10, not enough Hondo Anaka.
Not enough Hondo. Yeah, exactly. But with the. But the Pirates thing kind of seems like it just was randomly inserted, and I'm not exactly fully. There was nothing about what they introduced with them that it has me super interested to see how they affect the rest of the season.
I don't think they are. I think
that was just it with it.
I think that was more of a tool to show us that things that would have been a half a season arc are just not like the monster being in the very beginning. As opposed to like the monster when we fought the Crate Dragon, being like a much bigger.
They seem to
deal
throw a
and
lot of attention to the Pirates thing. That seemed to be a big thing.
I feel like they're going to be back at some point.
Maybe, but
and also I don't know the changing politics of life on Navarro, coming from being this more dusty cowboy town where like you kind of have to tolerate a certain amount of leeway, whereas now they can afford to be like, you know what, after a certain point, get out of here, pirates. We're not working with you.
Well, that's kind of the interesting and maybe the overarching theme of the season is what fills these power vacuums that exist. And I imagine we're going to see our 2 X-Wing pilots from the New Republic.
Who always just happen to run into Mando.
It's such a small galaxy.
So he's mainly that one guy.
What was that?
He's mainly the one guy, the Asian guy.
Well, his voiceover was in the trailer.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And his name is escaping me. But part of me wonders if the pirates
escaping me.
Oh, it's so funny. Sorry.
I gotta edit this video, so we should wrap this.
We should
up.
wrap it. Yeah, I mean, I'll end with this.
A 5-minute monologue.
I'll end with this. It was amazing seeing Mandalorian culture. I'm so excited. I hope that most of the season is spent unpacking the trauma of the Mandalorian peoples.
Yeah. John?
I'm having a blast. Happy to be back, and I can't wait for next week. Great effects, great adventure. I'm here.
Yeah, I give this one. I'm like a glowing 7.5 out of 10. I would say
7.5.
Yeah,
7.5.
I feel like this is the kind of episode that would grow goo on me, and over the course of how it plays into the later part of the season.
Yeah.
It's still a recommendation. It's still good.
Well, this is a show for me where both modes I'm equally happy for, because I'm used to it being where some episodes are just kind of on their own and it's just a neat adventure, and then other episodes are very consequential. And I'm kind of here for both.
But they're always fun, and I feel like
it's really fun.
At Star Wars core, like that's what we keep coming
I'd
back.
probably
for.
say like a 7.8 if we're playing with the room here.
I'm saying a 10 out of 10. Gonna praise the shrine of Dave Filoni when I get home.
I gotta edit this for you guys, so I'm ending this right now.
We love you.
Thanks for being here. Ryan Barnes, you are Ryan Barnes. Baines. That stays.
Good golly, it's Rob Frawley the second. Don't get it twisted.
You cannot avoid the keeper of the void.
Danger, Jeffrey Robinson. You've never heard this reference.
Especially not from me in one of these videos.
Real, whoa. Ho, you almost got me.
Barca fan, US 101 Freeway.
Jasprit Boular, you can start my car.
Roberto Engel, man, I love that Roberto guy.
Ian Simon, we be rhyming.
It's my lover, Songhai Glover.
Jacob Neptune, absorb the book Dune.
All hail Kayla the King, baby.
NMB is not the National Basketball Association.
Alan Ling, the guy with the thing.
Kiera Weria, your flesh.
Eric Hahn's 39-cent store.
Kusi rhymes with a word that means a woman's genitals. Fill in the blank. Puss in Boots, The Last Wish.
That's what it's about. Nick X, fill in the blank with something naughty.
Juan Longoria, yeah, I stamps for you.
It's never turgid when you're with Gail Ferguson. All right, we won.
Cliff Rodriguez means business.
Master Tiddlywinks.
John the Goat wrote me a note.
Lorenzo Zoil Baxter Building.
Differently sane, walks around with a reliable cane.
Hold still for Marco Tunstill.
Lauren American Horse never feels any remorse.
Never jaded, simply faded, always hair braided.
Rogue Cree, you are not Chinese.
Slithering Junkie 94.
Justin Martin, the Pop Tartan.
Don't flame me, Rosie Beatty.
Darth Yoda.
Rachel Alden Ehrenreich.
Look who's ballin'. It's Colin all dollin', stallin', ballin'. Trollin'?
Philip J. Smith Jr. You give me a bunier.
Quite a bunier. Jen Smith, don't join the Sith.
Melanie LeBlanc. You bring out the funk in me. Haha. Anyway, guys, hey, thanks for being part of our Patreon page and watching John and I lay down these sick bars for all you guys. I hope you're around next month to hear this all over again, where we recycle some rhymes without realizing that we've done that a few times.
Sorry.
Oh, what do you know? I just did it again. Peace out, super sexy rejects.